All right, well, keeping your lawn looking healthy and green isn't always easy when it's so hot and dry out. So today we've asked Alex Emerson with the Associated Contractors of Colorado to help talk to us about sprinkler systems and how to make sure they're working efficiently. So what advice do you have for us in these summer months?
Yeah, so I think that there's a few things that are kind of obvious that people can look for, and then a few other things that maybe aren't so obvious. The first things, if you're seeing puddling or pooling of water, that's certainly not efficient. If there's water running on the sidewalks or down the street, obviously that's not where we want it to go. So, and then some of the less obvious things, low head drainage is a big problem with sprinkler systems. So if the sprinkler turns off and you continue to see water coming out of the sprinkler head, then that's what's called low head drainage or porting. And that's just wasting water. That's water's not being delivered onto the lawn, and it tends to be pretty wasteful. Another thing that we see in the Denver metro area, there's a lot of homes that have high water pressure, so they get a lot of mist from their sprinklers. And when it's a mist, then again, the water's not being delivered to the grass correctly. So that's something to look out for.
All right, and so, we're talking about ways to make sure that your sprinkler system is working efficiently, or signs, I guess, to know that something is wrong. So what are some components that are most critical in making sure that your sprinkler system is working to its most ability, to its most efficiently as you go throughout the rest of this hot summer months?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think one of the most important components of any irrigation system is the backflow prevention device. I have one here. This is actually what protects your potable water supply, your drinking water, from contamination from fertilizers or pet waste, things like that you may encounter outside that can seep back into your potable water system. So any good landscape irrigation system should have a backflow preventer. This is an electronic control valve, and it actually has a flow control apparatus built into the valve, so you can control the amount of water that's moving through that zone based on the number of heads you have or the type of heads that you have. So upgrading your valves, always a good option. And then I have a few different examples of pressure regulated sprinkler heads. So these are pop-up spray heads for smaller areas, and then I have a gear driven rotary sprinkler head for larger areas. I think the most important component of this is the pressure regulation. It's got built-in pressure regulation, so you get consistent water, and consistency is kind of the name of the game when it comes to having a nice lawn. So.
All right, and so if you do see one of those kind of, red flags on your lawn, and you're seeing water puddling, or maybe you have high water pressure, any of those things, what are some ways to remedy that, quickly, or is there a quick remedy? Do you immediately have to call the professionals?
I always recommend to call a professional. Irrigation can be difficult to DIY. It's not the easiest thing, even for skilled DIY homeowners. But there's things you can do. It's not difficult to switch out sprinkler heads on your own. They just kind of screw in if you know how to access the pipe underground. So that's the challenging part. There's other things that you can do. This is actually a basket filter for a drip zone, and it actually has a flow indicator right on the top of it, so it will tell you if there's a leak or if there's an issue within that drip system. So installing something like this could be something very easy for a homeowner to monitor their system themselves.
All right, well, fantastic. Thank you so much for all of your help and advice, and you stay tuned. We'll have more 9 News just after the break.